Hey, good evening. It's Friday, November 27th. Thanks so much for being here tonight. I want to combine what we talked about this morning about living in freedom with God, honoring Him, and the two choices that we have. That we are free people, but one freedom leads to death, the other freedom leads to life. And one of the best places to describe that freedom that leads to life is found in the book of Deuteronomy. And tonight I want to combine Mozart and Deuteronomy, which may seem a little bit strange because we're thinking of Moses not as someone associated with fine classical music, but with something harsh, the Charlton Heston type of Moses, speaking words of flame out of his mouth and screaming at the Israelites. But in Deuteronomy, in these addresses, these final words that Moses gives to the people, which are recorded in Deuteronomy, I would suggest we have a Moses that is more mellow. Because remember, he's not going to the promised land because he misrepresented God by being angry. And while the words in Deuteronomy are urgent and strong, we need to temper them with that reality that Moses understands that his anger and outburst and being fed up with the people of Israel has led to him not being able to enter into the promised land because he did not represent God as holy. Moses is described as a man who is humble. And I think that experience certainly brought humility to him. So the words that Moses speaks are going to be words of compassion because he knows he will not go with them into the land. All they'll have is these words of his. So in chapter 30, read them with a little more backdrop of warmth and care and compassion of a man pleading with the people that he's given his life to so that they would know God. So in chapter 30, we read this. Now listen, today, this is Moses speaking. Now listen, today, I am giving you a choice between life and death, between prosperity and disaster. And in the context we looked at this morning, I'm giving you a choice to be free to live life in honor of God, which brings blessing, or to be free to live life following death and adversity, which brings destruction. For I command you this day to love the Lord your God and to keep his commandments, decrees, and regulations by walking in his ways. Again, notice the beauty and wonder of a commandment. Without the commandment, we would not follow God. Without the commandment to love God, we would not love him. So you see, these are indeed gentle, compassionate words. And then Moses says this, if you do this, you will live and multiply, and the Lord your God will bless you in the land you're about to enter and occupy. These words are tender words. He's calling out to them. Put aside the freedom that leads to adversity and embrace the freedom that leads to life in God. His ways are gracious ways. His ways are good ways. And so maybe this beauty of Mozart actually does fit with Deuteronomy. God calls us to life, calls us to freedom that brings to life. And brothers and sisters, that's a freedom that we all need to embrace. Think about that this night. Have a great night. Good night.